Hey, it's Soul with a list of things to do as we inch closer to the final content patch of Shadowlands. This is not going to be one of those, do this or else kinds of lists, but more like guidelines to help make sure that you enjoy all of what 9.2 and the rest of Shadowlands has to offer. Help support the channel by liking the video and adopting a puppy. Or you can subscribe to the channel, whichever is easier. In no particular order, we'll start by having you consider planning ahead for legendaries and have the gathering materials to get them made. Players will be able to equip a second legendary in patch 9.2 that enhances their Covenant ability. This will be accessible a bit after a month into the patch by completing the story. It's going to come in the form of a belt, and by reaching revered reputation with the local faction, you'll obtain a memory that lets you craft this legendary in whatever slot that you want, and since memories are account-wide, these can be crafted from any character. Even though this gear won't be accessible for a little while, what you want to look out for are conflicts with your possible gearing setup. Will the legendary belt get in the way of any of your other legendaries? Will you need to craft a legendary from scratch? And keep in mind, you can scrap unused legendaries to get your Soul Ash or Soul Cinders back. There's even a Soul Cinder trader coming in 9.2, just talk to Bonesmith Hairmere to do an exchange. Let's say though that you do need to make new legendaries. Depending on your planning, you may want to gather up crafting materials now, so that after the patch drops, you or whoever you commission will have the materials needed to make this legendary right away. You need enough materials to craft a rank 4 base piece. In patch 9.2, the Vestige of the Eternal will be available for crafters which, when added to the crafting recipe, will turn that rank 4 base piece into a rank 7. Moving on, I just mentioned getting materials for legendaries, so this tip is for gatherers and crafters. Y'all are about to just be stinking rich, making money off of crafting and selling these base pieces. Ensure your gathering is maxed out, which should not be that tough because there are going to be new materials found in Zereth Mortis, and people will be buying these things up as if an expansion just launched. In the meantime, now's a good time to start stocking up materials and controlling your output. Every realm has a different sort of economy. Many players are going to behave a little bit erratically though, holding onto items or trying to sell them off for a quick buck. Long term though, there's going to be a lot of gold to be made with active playtime. Closely related, you alcoholics ought to get your mission tables up. At least some of you have probably realized how lucrative the Shadowlands mission table is between the runes, and the meats, and the herbs, and the fishes that can go for a really high price depending on the realm. And there's a few new missions coming in 9.2 that will yield even more materials. Thanks to account-wide experience boosts and the renown boost and quick access to soulbinds if you completed the campaigns, you're looking at thousands of gold a week per alt just from switching characters and doing a few clicks, more if you put more time into recruiting the extra followers. The preparation for getting an alt mission table up is super low. With resource consumption still very high coming into 9.2, those materials will be going pretty quickly, and your payout is only going to grow. Next, and maybe I should have put this earlier in the video, make sure you hit Renown 80 on at least one of your characters in at least one Covenant. That's going to open up this vendor here, introduced in patch 9.15, which gives all sorts of account tradable perks and bonuses. Fresh alts can easily get a Renown boost to 40. All the available conduits add an item level of 200 and can freely swap Covenants. Now the reason for this old tip leads to this new one for patch 9.2. Because I suggest making sure that you're able to switch to the Venthyr Covenant while you're in Zereth Mortis because of the huge advantage that they have when taking on the world content. Flying will be available just a few weeks into the patch, but in the meantime, players will face numerous jumping puzzles and elevations to reach treasures. These award important resources like Ciphers of the First Ones to improve your zone experience, as well as Cosmic Flux. Think of this as Soul Ash or Soul Cinders, but you get it from all sorts of content, including these treasures, outdoor rares, and so on and so forth. Door of Shadows is a very powerful ability, although no doubt it's going to inconvenience some people who would prefer to not switch a Covenant just for zone content. Meanwhile, Demon Hunters and Warlocks, well, you can feel free to point and laugh, but navigating Zereth Mortis as part of the Venthyr Covenant will definitely make the daily routine easier before flying is available. You might already be sitting on a boatload of anima, but if not, just have some handy in case you want to gear up your fresh level 60 alts. 9.2 includes a vendor that sells item level 226 gear for a mere 500 anima per piece. It's not very high, but this is definitely better than farming up Stygia for those Korthia gear tokens, right? Torghast isn't going to offer anything directly related to player power in 9.2, but there are new challenges and rewards coming. It happens to be one of many sources of cosmic flux, but like I said, this can be found elsewhere too. 4 more layers of Torghast are coming, and completing its highest layers with a flawless rating will score you a mount, and it's part of a bigger meta achievement that grants the Tower Ranger title. All that said, what you can consider doing now is to clear layer 12 before the patch, and get all the remaining power-ups from the box of many things, because in those higher layers, you're definitely going to need them. That about wraps it up for the tips, but you can always share your own in case you have a great idea, or if I left anything important out. I would feel like a total disaster, but that's for me to deal with and for you to feel good about. Thanks for coming, like the video, subscribe for more guides, and I will see you later. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.